middle school youth. Well, I've had a very busy week with two massive events at the church, and I'm going to keep this video short and sweet and hopefully still really help you as we continue on through the book of Psalms. Before I do that though, I do want to draw attention to another church event that's coming up very soon. So this Wednesday, we are going to have a barbecue party at the church. Socially distant, of course. We'll be obeying the government restrictions and guidelines. Now, with that, is really important for you to register online. This isn't something you can't just show up to, unfortunately. We got to track you coming, and we got to know some certain questions and just kind of obeying government regulations and rules about gathering. So yes, we will keep it small, and we'll also have a really good time. It will be my official last middle school youth event as youth pastor at FCC, so I would really love to see you there if you can make it. I understand if you can't. It is summer after all, so it's all good. So this psalm today is Psalm 23. Now, the last psalm, it's interesting, you do this over and over again, and I've read Psalm 23, probably 100 times in my life, and it's one of the most quoted psalms probably of all time, and I'm sure it's going to sound familiar to you too. But I never actually have read it where the chapter before. I never really thought much about the chapter before, which was last week's video, which was Psalm 22, where David was really upset. If you remember, there was wild oxen with big horns chasing him everywhere. And if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to check that video out. And he was very sad and frustrated and crying out to God with all these questions and discouraged. And then we get into this Psalm 23, and it's like a complete 180 of attitude. So it's really interesting, even though David went through that hard time of feeling very distant from God, it looks like and feels like from this verse, and you're going to feel it too. As soon as I start reading, you're going to feel David kind of carving some time out, going into nature, and just spending time listening and feeling God's presence. Right after that big section of verses of feeling distant from God, we have a section of verses where David feels close to God. And so here it is, and I just hope it encourages you in this different kind of summer. I encourage you to grab your Bibles, highlight it, and check it out. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.